All right, guys, what's going on? Let's go ahead and get into the little recaps here for today. Um, you know, Back at it again. It's January 10th, 2022. Sorry for, taking so long to get with you guys. As some of you know, been sick, strep throat. It's been killing me. So excuse me if I'm, coughing or my throat sounds a little raspy in this little recording, but, still trying to recover from that stuff. Not 100% yet. But I figured I need to get back on here real quick, just to kind of touch on some trades and stuff like that with you guys, so we can kind of get a overall glimpse of the market, and just kind of recap a few things, because markets changed this January, beginning of the year, whole new year. Um, so kind of want to put in perspective where you guys should be at with your trading and everything like that. So first, what we'll do here is we'll recap these trades, talk about a little bit, and then you guys have some more videos coming up where you're going to look at different things that I wanted to show you guys. So kind of stay tuned for that. But right now in this video, what we're going to do here is recap these trades for today, kind of see what we're looking at, and figure out exactly how you guys can profit in this type of market environment. Okay, so let's kind of get into it here. I only took two trades today. Both of them were pre-market. I almost took a regular trade during the market hours with BBLG, but I couldn't find no reason to try to do it, and we'll cover that for sure too. So we'll recap all three of those trades. First trade was ZNGA, or ZYNG, Zynga. Anyways, it was Zynga. I forgot what their ticker is. We'll look it up here in a second. It was Zynga, and then it was ISIG, and then those are the only two I traded. $800 on those two trades, 400 apiece. Not quite hitting my $1,000 mark for the day that I wanted to, but I can't complain, especially the way the market has been. Um, so take what you can get, live the trade another day. That's what I tell you guys all the time. So uh, let's go ahead and get into it. So let's first pull up Zynga, ZNGA. Boom, boom. Let's take a look at the level two right now. So it's after hours right now, guys. So understand that you'll see some little movement, and I want to kind of touch on this here real quick because a lot of times you guys ask me, you know, I seem to only be trading the top traded or top percentage stocks and stuff like that, and it's not because I see that they're the top gainers and I get into the trade. That's what I used to do back in the day when I didn't know how to find stocks, but it's actually the opposite. It's I get into a stock and it becomes the top gainer, top percenter, things like that, and it ends up being the one I'm trading. But you guys gotta remember, it's because there's a lot of volume in it. I don't trade stocks that have light volume. If it's not a lot of volume in it, there's no point in me getting into it because you know all the things that can go wrong with it. And I cover that in the course. So if you trade it for a while, you understand why volume is important. You need that movement in the market for the stock that you're trading. And if it's not there, you're wasting your time, especially as a momentum trader. So it's not that I only trade the the top stocks that are being traded. Is I trade what happens to become the top stock to be traded, and the high percentage gainers and things like that. And even sometimes I don't even get into those, you know. But mainly, the alerts help me find this stock. I get in the stock and it becomes a top gainer. So, a lot of times that's why you'll see me with stocks that are being traded in pre-market because that's where all the movement happens. And then throughout the day, it might happen some more. So keep note of that. But let's get into ZNGA. First alert that went off today. Now, I was already up, at this time. Looking at the market was already red. Um, so I wasn't going to push my luck. You guys know the last few days we've been coming off of red days in the market. I posted in the Facebook group, Zynga, for everyone to look at. Whether you looked at it or not, traded it or not, it's up to you. Kudos if you did, kudos if you didn't. You know, I just letting you guys kind of know that's what I was looking at. Doesn't mean necessarily trade it, but that's what I was looking at. When that alert went off, I thought this was good news. So boom, check one, got my catalyst. Then it had a volume spike at 875. So that was a good sign for me, and I decided to get into the trade. Um, so at that point, once I'm in the trade, once I noticed the trade, the volume spike happening, which was right around here, 4 o'clock. Let's go to it. The alert went off right in this green candle, right? Put it at 4 o'clock a.m. on the dot. Zynga, Zynga. So I said, okay, perfect. I got in this trade at $8.38. I think it was 8.38. I waited for a little bit of a pullback in the second candle. Now, let's take a second. We'll come back. Let me make this a little bit larger for you guys so you can see this, so you can understand this. When I'm pulling up a chart, let's say the alert goes off, right? When I'm pulling up a chart, deciding on my entry and exit is going to be based on what strategy I'm going to try to play. It can kind of be vice versa sometimes. Let's say I get in the trade and, you know, I don't know what strategy I want to use yet. I know based on where I'm at in the chart of what strategy I need to trade versus knowing what strategy I want to trade and knowing when to get in the chart. I can kind of do it both ways. Not everyone can do that. That takes a level of experience, not only just in the market, but also a level of experience with your trading strategy. Okay. So let's get into my thought process on this. So I got in the trade, 838, still in like right on the second candle here. I'm looking at this at this point right here. So I'm in the trade. I didn't want to, quickly, you know, take this profit here and, you know, call it a day because it's pre-market. The volume was light and, it's pre-market basically. Normally I would just go ahead and get out, but the fact of the matter is this thing held up for a while. I was waiting to see on the pullback. The pullback never came below $8. Even though I got into 838, I was like, willing to risk 30 cents to the dollar. So to me, $8 was a good, level of support that hasn't been established yet. Typically, traders look at whole and half dollar marks. It's just the human nature, guys. You'll learn that as a trader. Whole and half dollar marks is where you usually see a lot of different, a lot of levels of support and resistance when it comes to trades. So anyways, mentally, I do, and of course, I do mental stop loss. I don't do hard stop loss, especially in pre-market. So I got my hand over the trigger and the hotkey. Anyways, get in 838, right? And this thing continued to flag up, flag up. You guys know this pattern. You know the flag pattern. Now, not only we're going to talk about the pattern itself, but we're going to talk about how do you know when to get in and when to get out, blah, blah, blah. Because I posted in the group, it was a clear sign to get out because this thing wasn't going to run anymore. This was a long consolidation, pretty much all of pre-market. So you had plenty of time to get out. And if you're looking at level two, you can see that not much more was going to go on, um, especially when you're breaking it, when you're looking at it through different key times, especially like right here at 5 o'clock, which is usually where a lot of pre-market movement happen. And you'll see a lot of these candlesticks and stuff like that happen right here. I tell you guys all the time between like 5 o'clock and 5:15 when other brokerages are opening, well, which is what 8 o'clock Eastern time. Um, Usually, if a stock's not moving by then, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. And this thing showed me, hey, I'm not going anywhere. So, anyways, and at 8:38, flag patterns are there. I'm holding it. I'm holding it because essentially, as well too. Remember, I told you I'm waiting for the $8 mark because I know a pullback's coming on the moving average convergence divergence. I know it's got to come eventually, right? So as the stock is moving, it's just trending up and up and up, doing the flag pattern, and it hasn't even pulled back yet. That's a good sign for me not to be too nervous while I'm looking at the price action. Looking at the price action, and of course, eventually it's consolidating, consolidating, consolidating. Understand this. Not only is it consolidating upwards on the red part of the moving average convergence divergence, but it hasn't even broke down and broke up. Now it can go either way, right? You should know that as a trader. Probably by this point, you probably should have drew your trend lines. I can eyeball this. I already know that, hey, you know, it's not breaking down yet. It's trending up, so I'm okay to stay in. But if you're, a new trader and things like that, you may want to draw this on your chart as it's happening. Um, just kind of get that eyeball for it. But what this is telling me here is that this is pretty much a level of support. And as long as this doesn't crack, I'm okay. Now, why did I get out? Even though it's consolidating right here, it didn't have much of a breakout. Now, by the time this happens, this thing should have already rolled over, but it didn't. And it kept staying red in the moving average convergence divergence. What worried me here was when this happened, and we got some hammer signs here. Ideally, these are bullish candles right here, typically. But when that happens, these are just orders getting filled. Okay. Um, whether they're, I'm sorry, hold on just a second. Still after hours, watching stuff move. Um, whether they get filled green or red, open, close, bullishly, bearishly, it doesn't matter. The fact that there's no range in this at this point in time in pre-market, understand volume is light. That's fine. But if the volume is going to be light and there's no movement in the price action, there's not enough strength there for me to want to stay in this trade. So clearly, this was a sign for me to go ahead and get out. So I went ahead and took my profit. But not only that, too, as you can tell, and I waited till like these candles here, um, you know, to try to see if it was worth getting back in, but it really wasn't, because of the fact that this is supposed to be a time where it's supposed to be squeezing, looking at the squeeze pro indicator, but it's not moving. So there's another sign. Not only that, but you got most of your buyers and sellers in the same area right there during that time frame. So you can kind of see that too. That's kind of a key thing for you guys. You got to understand, based on your indicators, you need to be able to understand what the chart is telling you. I see that be a problem with a lot of new traders. They're not really understanding what they're reading, or they're trying to read. They're trying to read something they're not going to understand. Like for example, if I was to try to use, an ADX indicator, I know what it is. I know, how it functions. I know what's it's supposed to do, but I don't comfortably read that and you know be able to base a trade off of that because I don't know, I know what I'm looking at, but I don't really fully understand it. So I'm not going to use that indicator. Same thing for you guys. I don't expect you to be able to use, the moving average convergence divergence. Some people use Fibonacci retracements. Some people might use stochastics. I mean, whatever you might use to help you with your trading, make sure you're just understanding it. Don't just use it because someone else is using it and they're successful with their trading. That just works for them. That's like us trying to, speak different languages. You know, um, if you're used to a different language, then use that one. Heck, I just hit it, didn't I? If you're used to another language that's better for you to understand, then use that one. That's pretty much what you're doing with these charts, okay? But anyways, that was pretty much it. So I got out, right before the break. Um, I got out like right around this area for a little $400 profit. A little $400. I remember days and that was a lot to me. But anyways, got out with a profit and I was happy with that trade. And I just watched it the rest of the day. And of course, nothing really happened with it, as you can see. Traded sideways all day, like pretty much the rest of the market, and eventually broke down. Um, so I'm glad I got out when I got out. So let that be an understanding as far as how to be able to read your trade. You gotta know how to read your trades, guys, or know how to read your charts with the indicators you use. Now let's look at the next trade, ISIG. Let me see here. Excuse me. So we got like this one was a quick alert. The way I approached ISIG was we've been trading that one for a while the last few weeks. It's been alerted a couple of times, but it's had initial momentum here and there. And we know ISIG can run. Me, the market's red. I know that for a fact. It's been red all last week. It was red this morning. I'm not going to push it. I'm going to get in. grab a little bit, get out. I only had like a small little 2% gain on this, but I went in with a lot of shares. Okay. Risk to reward ratio, guys, is very important. Understand what you're doing there. Okay. That's how you stay in the game. Um, I knew that if I went in with with a maximum amount of shares, because I'm not expecting the stock to move a lot in my favor due to the fact that it's a red market. Excuse me, I'm going with a lot of shares, but I'm also going to take my profits very quickly. Okay. So I got into like 27.54, but we got alerted first um, at like 5:35 when it was moving. What it was at $25.50, right? And this was during pre-market, like right here. Okay, yeah. So we got the little alert right here when it had a little volume spike. So I was a little confident with this one because of the fact that when the alert went off and I pulled it up, we had just had the Great Crossing. And you know what cross I'm looking at as far as my indicators go. That makes me want to, jump into a stock and just ride the wave. Okay, so got in at 27.50, and just took a little small chunk right there at 28 and got out right before a big dump. No pun intended. Anyways, 27.50 got in, pulled back, got out on that, and that was it. Which is good because look at this. Dumped the rest of the day. Opening bell, it dumped, and this pretty much straggled along the rest of the day. So I don't know what to tell you guys about this one. This one was just a quick little 3 minutes of $400. It wasn't even that long of a trade. It was a very, very quick trade just because of the fact that one, it was pre-market. We're coming along the opening bell. Two, I know the fact that it's going to roll over, it's going to roll down, and I'm in with a lot of shares with a higher price stock. I'm going to take my profits and leave very, very quickly because I can do that. When your account becomes big enough, you can do that. When you got everything set up quickly, you can do that. But know what you're looking at too. So, anyways, that's pretty much ISIG. Those are my two successful trades that I did. Only two trades that I did do today. I'll take that for a Monday coming on the red market. I tell you guys all the time, don't trade against, don't trade against the market, but some of you will try to do it anyway. Not every strategy works in every market. Let's take a look at BBLG, and then, we'll wrap that up for the day. And then we'll start to go into some learning stuff because you guys need to be reviewing a lot of things, especially in the way the market is today. BBLG, let's take a look at that alert. It was some stuff going on. It was just mostly announcements. But as you can see, like, I was saying, and like the admins was saying, it's a slow morning. Markets were gapping down. You were warned. You were told, hey, sit on your hands if you need to. If you don't know how to trade in a down market, sit on your hands. But yeah, anyway, so we got the BBLG alert. A lot of you guys did bank on that alert, which was, great. So kudos to you. Hopefully you traded that, very well within a strategy. You just didn't get lucky. Um, the reason why I didn't get in this stock, guys, because it gave me no indication whatsoever it wanted to break past that 650. Too many tops. Look at this. One, two, three. I mean, I'm not gonna fight the market. You know what I mean? Um, Boom, you show me 650 is your top right here. When you're at your peak, okay, that's fine. You're gonna show it to me again, okay, that's fine. Then even when we come back down, yeah, it was holding, but it had a chance to break right here, and it didn't. It kept stopping out, kept stopping out. That right there was telling me this thing wasn't gonna run. So what I was doing was I was looking for a break of 650, maybe even to like 660. It never came. So guess what? There was no reason for me to get into the stock. The reason why I was looking for the break, because once it would have broke that, I was expecting it to run, to maybe $7, $8. Um, just kind of looking at level two and seeing the price action. That's what I was expecting. It was halted a lot. You guys know I don't like to be in halts like that. It was halted here, it was halted here, and halted here. All within a matter of a few minutes. A lot of halts in a red market, halts up is not, ideal. because you know the pullback's going to be pretty strong. This one didn't have a too much strong of a pullback, but you know it traded within. You really could have traded this one all day, jumping in between the $5 to $6 range. You know, a couple of times. So, um, you know, that's why I didn't get into BBLG. And that's the key thing about knowing what to trade. You also got to know what not to trade. I know for a fact that if I was to get in this trade and I would have forced myself to trade this, it would have been disastrous because I wouldn't have read it correctly. Um, Especially, you know, where we were at with the market and all. And there wasn't much moving, so it was easy to get sucked into there, but I didn't. Um, a little bit of discipline. You guys got to learn that as well too. As badly as you want to make money, you got to be disciplined. Okay. Um, Sorry, that's why was messaging me. Yeah, so that's pretty much the three trades that I looked at today. I only took two of them. Thank goodness I was green. Um, we're gonna keep going. Hopefully tomorrow's a better day. Honestly, I doubt it. The way that the market has been these last few days, banks are banking with the interest rate rise figures. Um, they're doing their thing. They're staying pretty decent, but everything else is just tanking. And I was kind of expecting that, especially in the beginning of January. Um, Really, honestly, I don't see the market getting too green until maybe towards the end of like the last week of January. I mean, February is usually pretty decent. Things start to pick back up, but who knows? I mean, you got COVID variants still running rapid. Um, you got, you know, a lot of different things going on. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Um, but until then, you know, I just wanted you guys to kind of let you know, sit tight. And markets like this, really, really good idea to practice your strategy, paper trading, excuse me, paper trading. But not only that, work on developing a downward um, market strategy as well too. Because just because your strategy worked well in the bull market doesn't mean it'll work in a bear market. You guys gotta understand that. Momentum works both ways. Momentum works both ways. All right. So work on that. We'll get into a few more things here with some of these different indicators I'm going to go over with you guys so you can learn some of that. And that's pretty much it. I mean, stay diligent, stay productive. Don't sit in front of the computer all day. If you guys know the market is not going your way, walk away. Best thing you do is turn your computer off. Go read one of the books in a learning lounge. Go look at some of the videos. Message me if you want me to look at your strategy, whatever. Doesn't matter. Just don't sit there and, you know, stare at the market all day because you're going to then end up doing a bad trade and you don't need to be doing that. All right. Here to make money, not lose it. If you feel the urge to trade, paper trade. Even then, if you fight that urge to trade with one share, trade with two shares. See if you gain yourself a couple of cents. Because 9 times out of 10, you'll lose it. Better lose a couple of cents than it is a couple of dollars. All right, guys. So I'll get to the watch list later on today. Um, Pretty soon we'll be talking about some long-term strategies as well too, and we'll look at like some long-term strategies for a down market. So get ready for that. As I start to get better, I can start doing more videos for you guys and getting us back on track. Hopefully 2022 is a much, you know, better year. But you know what? Even if the market will stay red, we'll stay green. All right. So guys, let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you know, if you took any trades today, post it in the comments. Let me know so I can kind of, you know, look at that too. Might, you know, be able to help you guys out. Or if you have any questions, just message me. But yeah, definitely let me know if you guys traded it, if you sat on your hands. You know, let me know how, how's working out for you guys out there. Okay. All right. Stay green.